Well, hey there. A while back, I did a review on a camera LED light and have had a good number of hits on that, number of folks asking me questions on it. And I received an email from another company that's also manufacturing these types of lights and asked me to take a look at it and if I liked it to give a review. And I like it. I'm going to give a review. We're talking today about the Pergear, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Pergear A216C air switch camera light. So this is very similar to uh, these kind of LED lights that we've seen before. Couple of interesting features though that this guy has that I haven't seen, and it's in the same price range. About the price I was seeing on Amazon was about $35. I know they're coming up. This upcoming weekend is Black Friday. So I know that they've probably got some deals that you might want to check out. But normally about $35 on Amazon from what I've seen. Um, it is powered by um, Sony type camera batteries, um, just as I've seen on pretty much all of the other LED lights. It holds a good battery life. Just used it in a shoot today, and it held up just as the other models that I've used hold up. Some the features that they have that this model has that I haven't seen before. It's got a wheel on here to actually control the color temperature. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. There we go. So right now this is blasting you here. Right now this is set to daylight, 5600 or 5500K, same as the other LED lights in the room that I'm using. You can see the, oops, aha, hold on one second. There's another thing I'll get to in a minute. You can see the amount of a punch that packs. Pretty nice. I mean, obviously that's pretty close up, but yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the brightness on that. Get it a little farther back, and it lights you up nice, pretty good. But say if let's say I was shooting with incandescent lighting and I needed a little accent light like this. Um, well, I keep spoiling that. I was going to show that feature last. I'll get to it. Um, here we go. Is a little turn of the wheel, and now we're at 3200 Kelvin lighting. So obviously now I look really orange because I'm set to daylight. Um, the one thing I will say about this wheel that sort of shifts between 5500K and 3200K is um, the transition between the two. I wish it was more evenly mapped across the wheel. Basically, if you're turning this wheel, um, you're pulling, there's not much change, and then, oh, there it is, there's a shift, and then you're pulling, and there's not much change. So really the shift happens mostly right here, just in this little area of the wheel. It would have been nice to evenly map that out a little bit more, so that you could actually dial in maybe a finite temperature setting in between the two. But still, I mean, just the fact that there's two sets of bulbs on here with two different temperatures is really cool. I've never seen that before with these little guys, and for it to come at the same price that previous units that I've used come at is pretty phenomenal. So you've seen me accidentally trigger this a couple of times. Obviously, it's a little sensitive, but the really cool thing about this model, aside from the temperature feature, is that it has on the top of this corner here it says active area, and it's a little sensor that allows me to turn the camera on and off. Or camera, sorry, the light. You know what I'm talking about, the light. Um, this is going to come in really handy, and already did. It came in really handy with the shoot that I was doing. I had this up on a pole right next to the camera, and we had multiple interviews coming in, and it was just a little accent light to give a little extra pop to the eyes. And so when we started, right before we'd start, I just waved my hand over, get that extra light on there, and then to save battery, as soon as we were done, I just waved my hand over, and it just turns off. You don't want to move your hand too fast, or it might not register. Like if I move my hand really fast, it has a hard time registering. But yeah, nice slow motion, boom. Um, Now, obviously, as you saw when I was accidentally triggering that a second ago, you want to be careful. Your hand will, if I mean any kind of movement that will trigger it. So I read the manual and they suggested, you know, if you want to cover it, you can. I'm not sure if I mentioned this yet or not, but one of the other cool things that this guy has is a DC plug-in point. So if you're on a long shoot and maybe you only have one battery, so you don't really have, you know, you don't have multiple batteries to be thrown on chargers while you're doing the shoot. You can just get a regular DC adapter, plug that in here, plug it into the wall, and you're good to go. I tested that out, and yeah, it works just as well, just as nicely. So that's pretty much. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's an LED camera light. It works really well. I'm really thankful to have been given the opportunity to review it, and I'm going to be buying some more of these because I would definitely, just the ability to change the temperature, I think for me is the biggest thing that I really, really like. And I think, like I said, if I were to give some feedback to that, it'd be nice for them to map that across the wheel a little bit more evenly so that I could have some more finite control between temperature. But yeah, I like it. I'm a fan. So that's stuff that I use.